right. Well, Leslie, I appreciate you taking the time to come in today and conduct this interview with us. We look forward to learning more about you.
Yeah, I want to learn more about the position I'm applying for, Mr. Wilkinson.
Okay.
I'm confident to be here.
Perfect. All right. So, if first off, you would just like to tell me a little bit about yourself.
My name is Leslie Bell. I am a lifelong resident of this community. I graduated from Ell High School in 1998. In 2006, I received my bachelor's degree in political science criminal justice from the University of Akron. And 4 years later, in December 2010, I received a master's degree in higher education administration from the University of Akron. As of right now, I'm still searching for full-time work in student affairs, but in the interim at this time, I'm currently working on a second master's degree in teaching and training technical professionals in the College of Education with an anticipated graduation date of May 2014.
Okay. Very good. So what are your particular strengths? What do you bring to the table?
My particular strengths are that I am team-oriented, I am multitasking, I collaborate and be a leader with other persons in a department or division, and if I do have any questions, I can ask a teammate or a supervisor, and I can receive a quick answer.
Okay. And what would you identify as a weakness of yours? Where do you feel like you're lacking?
What I'm lacking is confidence, which is my biggest weakness, since I lack the confidence of doing a job that I need to be energetic for myself and to be ready to do those kinds of tasks when the assignment calls for it.
Mm-hmm. So how have you found yourself improving upon that or addressing it?
Taking long, deep breaths. I was thinking about what the situation calls for and reading over directions 2 or 3 times. And if there's any problem in the directions, I can always ask the supervisor for questions, in which I can get a clarification of an answer or what is stated in the assignment.
Okay. All right. So what are your long-term professional goals? What area of student affairs are you looking to get into primarily?
That's always a tough question, but I have a good answer for it. I would really love to work in student affairs in the advising side, working with at-risk students, since I was an at-risk student myself, facing a lot of academic issues my first couple of years, being dismissed, being reinstated, put back on probation, and finding my way back into good standing. And it really does apply with the first year students. Of course, we have a lot of workshops like the IM workshop for dismissed students, student access and retention, the Keep in Touch program, and also we can work with the Office of Multicultural Development with those first year students, especially with at-risk or those from different cultures like the LGBT, Taiwanese students, Hispanic students, students with disabilities. It runs the course. Mm-hmm. I like to really work with those from a multicultural background. All cultures, all classes.
Okay.
We want them to be prepared for college life and to succeed in their degree programs so that they can graduate and have gainful employment, or they can move on to a professional degree or a graduate degree.
Okay. So how did you wind up choosing this field?
It was based on a recommendation by one of my former political science professors, because I had spent a year and a half working on a master's degree in political science from August 2007 to December 2008. recognizing that I wouldn't be able to complete my degree in political science because of the statistics and quantitative research that's involved. So my scope and theories of political science professor encouraged me to change degree programs, go into education. And looking back, it was like the greatest piece of advice I've ever received as a graduate student. And looking back, had I started a degree in higher education in August of 2007, I probably would have graduated in May of 2009 and not 18 months later.
Okay. So can you describe your ideal work environment?
My ideal work environment is working with a team of individuals from diverse backgrounds, usually about 5 or 6 people, split up the tasks that are needed and collaborate with each team member and to decide who will do what and complete those assignments by a certain deadline. And if there's problems, we can always consult each other or the direct supervisor.
Okay. So what motivates you to do a good job?
Coming into work every day, being ready to face the assignments that are there for me, talking to other individuals, directors, student assistants, graduate assistants, and we can work as a team, and we can think singularly but act collectively. When we can't be one person, this is a team effort. We're doing it for the greater good of the department and the greater good of the institution.
Okay. So how this teaching and training technical professionals program that you're in now, how do you see that? How do you see that benefiting you in an advising role?
It would benefit me as a trainer of new academic advisors, also training graduate assistants who are in the higher education administration program, and giving them my experiences in advising. I can also tell them about my personal experiences of being advised as an at-risk student and how I overcame those obstacles in becoming a successful person. From the depths of dismissal and probation to working on a second master's degree. And I've given so much to the institution, I would really love to give back. Even though for those who have never been in Akron before, there are a lot of places to go, like Canal Park, Infusion Stadium, Summa Field, The Jar, other places in Northeast Ohio, Cleveland Brown Stadium is now First Energy Stadium, Quicken Loans Arena, the Akron Art Museum, Summit Mall, Chapel Hill Mall, a lot of places in Northeast Ohio where a lot of UA students can go to.
Okay. So can you tell me about a time that you had to handle a stressful situation?
There are so many stressful situations. I think one of the most stressful situations was when I was interning in the Office of Undergraduate Admissions in the summer 2010. We had the big student visitation day in the student union. And one of my assignments was being at the steps at the top of the 3rd floor and greeting prospective students and their families and giving them literature about the University of Akron and gift bags. And I tell you, that was a lot of work, but I was excited to be there that morning since I was an intern working with directors, admissions counselors, graduate assistants, and the members of the Department of Student Life it was a really big production to pull off, but we did it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And later on, I had to enter much of the information that the prospective students and their parents recorded and put them into Microsoft Excel verbatim.
Mm-hmm.
It was a way to improve and omit certain things that didn't fit right with the student visitation philosophy set forth by the Office of Undergraduate Admissions.
Mm-hmm.
That was an exciting time.
Mm-hmm.
And I still recognize that to this day. I cherish it.
That does sound like it was a lot going on, but it,
Yes.
it all came together. And
Yes, I had to get there like 6:37 in the morning.
kind of set everything up for the
Yes.
crowds start coming
Yes,
along.
because I got an attachment knowing where my assignment would be.
Okay. So, what else from your internship with admissions? What else have you gained from that experience that is going to be helpful for you?
I've gained a lot of research experience. One of the earliest assignments that I did was comparing tuition and fees costs from other universities, public and private in the state, to Akron's. Also include the cost of room and board with residence halls, and I really enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
That was a lot of research
Sure.
that I did.
Okay. So can you tell me about a time that you had to make a difficult decision in a short amount of time?
There were a lot of difficult decisions in a short amount of time, but I can go back to my experience as a testing monitor in computer-based assessment and evaluation, which was originally in Carroll Hall before they moved over to Schrank Hall North. And I had to realize that when a student did not have her university ID to take the exam, which was computer based, in the perception category, but I said to her that if you want to take the exam, you have to show a second form of photo ID, which would have to be a driver's license, a state identification, or military ID, and sign a waiver form.
Mm-hmm.
Which is important because in computer-based testing we can only take photo IDs to allow students to take exams.
Mm-hmm.
So we can't allow other persons to take exams for those assigned students.
Mm-hmm.
And we have to put students like in computer and fill up one computer, leave a seat empty, and fill another seat,
Mm-hmm.
and so on, to make sure there is no cheating or plagiarism involved
Mm-hmm.
in computer-based testing.
Mm-hmm.
Which is very difficult to do because we have to make those decisions. We have to do that decisively.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So how would you respond if your supervisor asked you to complete a task that you disagreed with?
If I would tell my supervisor I would not disagree with the task and I would complete it. However, I would like to ask for clarification
Mm-hmm.
before I dive into the assignment
Mm-hmm.
to make sure everything is legal, justified, and above board.
Mm-hmm. Okay, perfect. So what would your supervisor at your internship, what would that person say about you?
She would tell me she would say, I'm well-rounded, respected, charismatic, and special to be around.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. So, why should we hire you?
I would bring excitement, professionalism, and credibility to this graduate assistantship, and working with the officials in OMD and help improve events such as Rethinking Race, which takes place every February, the Martin Luther King events that take place the week of Martin Luther King and all throughout January, in preparation for the Black Male Summit, which usually takes about a year to do, and it takes place every April. And we bring a lot of black students to the university to learn more about keeping black students, keep having their retention rates high, and making sure they graduate and be successful. And this shouldn't be for black male students. This should be for every student from a multicultural, multiracial background, male and female, even LGBTQ, Taiwanese, Asian, Pacific Islanders, Europeans, Indians, Native Americans, and every culture and class.
It's kind of a multicultural event. Okay. All right. So, would you have any questions for me?
As an official in the Office of Multicultural Development, how many multicultural groups do you appeal to?
A lot of different ones. A lot of ability to reach out to a lot of different groups.
And can you clarify that a little more, please?
Yes, I would be able to if I actually worked on them. So yeah. Do you have any other questions?
How long has the Office of Multicultural Development been around at the University of Akron?
If I were to look at the website, was that information that you were unable to come across?
I couldn't find any information on that.
Okay.
I was hoping that you would know.
Okay. Yeah, it's been around for about the last 10, 15 years, roughly.
Okay. Because I went through the Office of Multicultural Development when I first came here for orientation. Back then, it was a 2-day orientation. Back in 1998, I stayed for 2 days because I was one of those minority groups. And we had workshops, and we learned a lot. From finances to academics to nightlife in the city.
A lot of different components of that.
Yes.
And were there also white students that were around for that, or was it primarily
minority students?
Minority students.
African American, Hispanic, Asian, Pacific Islander, Native American.
A lot of different cultures and races, ethnicities.
Because I really love the University of Akron. It's like one of the best multicultural institutions around.
Okay, excellent. All right, well, we appreciate you coming in today to take the time and learn more about us.
Yes, I was excited to come here today for this interview.
Okay, well, we'll be following up with you, and we'll let you know.
Okay.
All right.